A LUT, or a lookup table, in the most basic terms, is a file that can be placed on top of a photograph or a video that changes the colors and tones of that image. Inside a LUT file is a bunch of numbers that basically say, turn this yellow into this other type of yellow, or make this green darker, or make this red more of like an orangey hue. The easiest way to think of a LUT is like a preset or a filter that you can apply to any image you take to give it a different, more stylized look. Up until recently, the main way you could use a LUT was inside an editing software like Premiere Pro or Final Cut, and even some cameras allow you to load your LUT onto the camera to assist you when viewing log footage. It's no secret that Fujifilm has exploded over the last number of years, and in my opinion that's down to the creation of Fujifilm recipes, which allow users to get great looking photographs and videos straight out of the camera. I have had loads of fun creating my own Fujifilm recipes over the last number of years. If you're a Fujifilm shooter, you can check those out on my website. However, with Fujifilm recipes, you are still quite limited in the amount of manipulation that you can make to the color and the tone of your images. And this is where LUMIX has stepped in with what I think is a massive milestone for digital photography, and that's the ability to load up your own LUTs into their cameras to shoot your photos and videos with those LUTs baked in. I reckon that in the next few years you'll see every camera on the market with this ability. The camera I'm shooting this video on is the LUMIX S5IIX, and that's been my main professional video camera for the last year or so, but recently I picked up the LUMIX S9. The LUMIX S9 is going to be my backup camera for the S5IIX. It's going to be my dad cam and my carry me everywhere you go camera. I have to be honest, initially I thought this LUT feature was a bit of a gimmick, but very soon after trying it out for myself, I realized just how cool this feature really is. So I went about designing some LUTs of my own to load into my LUMIX cameras, my S5IIX and my S9, so that I too could get great looking images straight out of the camera. So after a whole load of playing, testing and reworking, I came up with 4 awesome LUTs that I'm calling the season LUTs. You've got summer, spring, winter and autumn. I did those out of order, but you get the gist. Anyway, the season LUTs are available for you to download right now from my website. The link is in the description and you'll find it. You can use these LUTs however you wish. You can absolutely use them to give your images a cool look in post, but how I have been enjoying using these LUTs the most is by loading them into my LUMIX S9 and shooting with the season LUTs baked in. So here is a closer look at my season LUTs, which are available now. My summer LUT was designed to be a good all-rounder with bold colours and warmth. It packs a punch with loads of colour and tones reminiscent of Kodak Ultramax, perfect for capturing or replicating the feeling of summer. The summer LUT looks good both under and overexposed, and I like to use this LUT in camera above a standard photo style with the white balance pushed slightly warm. My spring LUT was designed to capture the feeling of a fresh spring morning with cool tones. In the highlights you'll find a lovely pastel blue. The greens are pushed to the yellow side, whereas the yellows are thrusted to a more fiery orange. In my opinion, the spring LUT looks best when slightly overexposed, and I like to use this LUT in camera above a natural photo style for a slightly flatter look. Also try playing with the white balance with this LUT. It cools down and heats up nicely, just like spring itself. My autumn LUT produces images that look like how autumn feels. You know, the time of year where everything turns a certain shade of rust. With this LUT, there is a slight green tint in the highlights, but in the shadows, it's pure brown. I have also made the greens more emerald in colour, which makes this LUT almost reminiscent of Fujicolor film. When overexposed or underexposed, it can look muddy, but exposed correctly, it's gorgeous. I like to use this LUT in camera above a landscape photo style for good contrast and a green boost. This LUT also looks great warmed up a bit with a slight white balance push. The winter LUT is an awesome black and white look that is perfect for capturing any scenario. When designing this LUT, I raised the black point and lowered the white to give it a slight filmic look. Perfect for pairing with some film grain, either in camera or in post. Underexpose this LUT for a darker, moodier feeling, or overexpose it for a softer look. When shooting with this LUT with my LUMIX cameras, I've been setting the base photo style to Leica monochrome to take advantage of this incredible profile. Depending on the scene, it can also look great with other monochrome picture photo styles. Have a play about for yourself. I am strongly of the opinion that when it comes to photography, there are no rules. Just use your eye, and if it looks good to you, then go with that. Something to note about the season LUTs is that I purposefully give them quite a strong look. So if you're using them and you want to fine tune them for yourself, here are a few tips on how best to do so. Tip number 1 is to simply adjust the LUT opacity, i.e. turn the strength of the LUT up or down. You can do that in your editing software, or in the LUMIX cameras, you can actually do that in the menu. Tip number 2 is that you can adjust the base photo style that the LUT is applied to. So I've suggested what I like to use for each LUT, but these aren't set in stone, so feel free to play about for yourself and see what works for you. Tip number 3 for fine-tuning your in-camera JPEGs using these LUTs or any other LUTs is that in the menu you can adjust your contrast, highlights, shadow, saturation, hue, sharpness, noise reduction, and you can even add grain if it suits your style. My settings for all of the example images used in this video should be on screen now. My 4th tip for adapting these LUTs to yourself is to have a play about with your white balance. I like to shoot with auto white balance, but I always push it slightly warm, so in my LUMIX cameras I have it set at auto white balance, A1 and G1. My final tip when using these LUTs in your LUMIX cameras is when you're shooting video to use Vlog and then load up your own conversion LUT and then stack these look LUTs underneath your conversion LUT. That's how I've been getting the best looking video footage straight out of the camera. PS, the conversion LUT that I use to convert my Vlog footage back into a standard color profile is from Gamut.io. You have to pay a little bit for that LUT, but honestly, it's the only LUT I've used to convert my log footage with LUMIX cameras, and it's absolutely fantastic. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, this whole video was shot in Vlog, converted with Gamut.io, and then I used my season LUTs to color the video. So that's that. My 4 season LUTs are available to download now from my website. There should be a link in the description below if you want to try them out for yourself. And if you do, I would literally love to see your results. So drop me a comment, hit me up on Instagram, and enjoy. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy these LUTs, and I'll catch you in another video really soon. Bye. The little robin, like right beside my head. He's on the tripod. Hi, bud. Gonna land on my finger for Be a Legend. Sorry, I'm in your zone here. Imagine if he landed on me, it'd be class.